Welcome to the May 10th Town Board meeting and work session. Would you please join me in the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just want to mention that Supervisor Bach will be joining us via Zoom from 4300 St. Lucie Boulevard in Stuart, Florida. And the regular board meeting will follow this work session. The first item on the work session is the Wiltshire ODA. The planning board, which met last Wednesday night, did not have a quorum, and the vote was split on that. I feel that our planning board import is an important part of our decision making. I would like to give them the chance to re-vote and give us their opinion on this ODA, but what are everybody else's thoughts?
I agree, especially since they were split.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree, especially after taking a look at the property.
Well, I did walk the property and it's quite wet, and I have some suggestions, but I guess we may as well just save that for the next meeting. So we will table that. And the Boys Road ODA, and actually the next two of them, and the Jewett Homewood ODA, those we have a choice. We can either set a public hearing if we want, which is in our code book. We have the right to do that with any ODA that we choose, or we'll table this also because this paperwork which gets sent to the county, and there's certain criteria that determine whether it goes to the county or not. Not every ODA goes to the county. If we want, Martha can give us that criteria.
No, I will call.
But these two fit that criteria. So we need to wait until we get the paperwork back from the county, or we can set a public hearing. What is your thoughts on that?
For me, these were pretty straightforward, so I'm just fine with waiting on the county.
Okay.
And not needing to set a public hearing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
You go too, Joe? Okay.
I agree.
Oh, geez. Jim, you good with that?
Yes, you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so we'll table those two. And the Davis Road is at the site plan part of the process. And for that, we will be setting the public hearing for the next meeting.
Okay.
Everybody good with that?
24th of May.
24th, yes, 24th.
Is there any more information than just the special use permit application, like that I'm missing? Or for 1158?
We should have gotten it at a prior meeting.
Right, well, I went and I pulled all my, I went and I pulled all of my stuff for those.
Yeah.
Martha, maybe I'll just get with you because.
Okay, I'll send it.
I have this, if you want to take a peek at the
Yes.
survey or any of that.
No, I have this. It was just, I didn't know if there was any additional.
Did you get the
Yeah.
notes from the?
Yeah.
from-
I'll get with
from-
Martha. I'll get with
Okay.
Martha.
They are-
Because for the rest of them, I pulled all my old stuff.
They are on I think everything is on the planning board, the agenda of the planning board for last meeting. So if you want a PDF.
Yeah,
I could do it that way. But you know me, Luke, I prefer to like paper and lay it out.
Okay. So the next item on the agenda is the West Falls Park temporary use permit. This is for a trail run. There are 6 of them: July 21st, July 28th, August 4th, August 11th, August 18th, and August 25th. They are on a Wednesday night. I don't know whether that interferes with anything else. Does it, Dave? You have any thoughts on that? They're expecting 75 people.
May I elaborate?
Sure.
Hi,
Oh,
I'm Mark
would you like
Lawrence.
to, sure, come up and tell us.
Hi, everybody. I'm the one who submitted that proposal.
Could
Could you come up and,
give us your name?
You can speak without your mask if you're comfortable.
Okay. Can you hear me?
yeah, if you
Mark
could,
Lawrence, I'm the one who submitted that proposal. What we're proposing is to utilize the JP Nicely Park and the trails along the creek. And the dates have actually changed based on our availability of some staffing, but we wanted to put on a 4 nights of 4 consecutive weeks, a trail run, which utilizes about a 3-mile course. Starts and finishes near one of the gravel parking lots, all outdoors, rain or shine, barring inclement weather. That utilizes the perimeter of the park in case there's any games or softball or baseball in any of the diamonds. It'll run back around that bottom edge where the trails currently exist and come back around by the playground and finish in the same spot it starts. We utilize electronic chip timing. COVID safety plan was submitted to Chris, and we think we covered everything in detail. As far as that goes, there'll be no serving of food or any intentional close contact or indoor festivities. The races would begin promptly at 6:30 and small group starts, and we'd send them out in packs. We could maybe expect 25 to 75 people based on the weather, and any kind of revenue would go for our local animal shelter in Hamburg. And that's it in a nutshell.
What nights would this be?
We're proposing Monday evenings now, because after the talks with the rec department, there are no games on Monday nights. The dates are June 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th. We would open up registration at around 5 o'clock and park in one of the farther lots. And at 6:30, we would start the groups. We'd most likely be finished within an hour. Some stragglers clearing out of there well before dark. We would leave no trace, and any kind of cups, we're not going to be serving water, but we probably have some kind of bottled water to give the participants as they finish, if we get some hot nights in June, which would be pleasant, and we would leave no trace. The only addition that we do ask is we allow us to staple some 4x4-inch white arrows to some of the trees at the main intersections, and we would manage that on a weekly basis to make sure they're still up. So for directional purposes, and everything would be removed the day of the final event. Insurance would be provided by USA Track and Field, underwriting the town of Aurora and any additional entities that you would see fit submitted before the first race.
Mark, where else are you doing these? I'm assuming it's an established group?
Yes, I run them as a DBA, and I also have an LLC called Endurance America, and we've been putting on local events at county parks or Allegheny State Park or Holiday Valley, for instance, for several years. Endurance America is my LLC, and that's how we underwrite our insurance, and that's what our checking account is under. So we have extensive experience in putting on smaller, personalized public events that are intended for our local communities, children, adults, families. They're not the Boston Marathon per se, where it's a very intense, hard event. It's meant to be a walk-up friendly. Online registration and day of entry is going to be welcome at a reasonable fee. These are $15 or $10 a person events to sign up for. So they're
What
easy.
kind of parks have you used? Like
Here we
Chestnut
go.
Ridge or?
Chestnut Ridge. We've used Sprague Brook, and those are the 2 county parks with extensive trail systems.
Chuck, did I hear that there was a certificate of insurance listing the town?
Yes, there would be.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question. Is there a reason to use the charity in Hamburg? The only reason I ask is when people come use the Aurora parks, a lot of times, for less using the park, for instance, the bike races is donating to the West Falls ambulance. Is there a reason why? Because it sounds like you just want to come use our park because it's there.
Well, two reasons. Great question. Yes, I'd be happy to support any East Aurora entity. The reason we've helped Heart Animal Shelter in the past is because I got a beautiful cat there once. He's very dear to me. Their staff was so sensitive and polite, and they accepted walk-up donations. Some years we lose money on this. Some years we make a little bit of money, and we'd be happy to divert that towards an East Aurora entity by all means, especially.
Yeah, just we try to support our charities in our local town a lot of times with our parks. So I just thought, Chuck, it might be a nice thing, especially with how the fire company is trying so hard to raise money for their ambulance. Instead of giving it to a charity in Hamburg, of course, you may not even make any money, but just for us having to clean up or whatever, at least be nice to keep the money local.
Consider it done.
My opinion.
And if you want to look at West Falls or East Aurora, those are one of the entities we're going to tap for a possible medical support or EMT support on site in case we get any contusions, bumps or bruises, or twisted ankles. So that would be our initial interest. And I said the animal shelter because that's what we've done in the past. Completely open to it, and I completely agree. And lastly, I graduated from West Falls Elementary, so I know the trails very well.
So that's why you like going.
I was a little bit shorter back then. But.
First, I think it looks like a good race that you're having. I see you're starting it at that upper pavilion up in the field.
Yes.
You're just going to loop around the whole park. It looks like a good event, especially you switched it to Monday now, so there's no conflict with the adult leagues. That was my only concern was parking, because when they're playing, pretty much the parking lot's full. If you're coming Monday, that won't be an issue.
Yeah, I said you saw my extensive map.
Yes.
Okay. That was done with a 1985 highlighter. It still works. So, yeah, Monday nights is nice. It's wide open on the running calendar as well. Our whole intention is to provide something new, a new opportunity that's low cost and invite people into the sport of running. Due to COVID, we haven't had any events per se of this magnitude involved with trails. So trails are easy, it's low impact, and it's doable. The course isn't very aggressive, even though we're calling it the Annihilator Series. It's because of that final climb out. It's just a brutal, small, short hill, and it's just a fun twist on health and activities, which I think we're all would embrace well. So,
knowing how successful everything that comes there, I'm sure it'll grow.
thank you. That's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Like, so
Thank you, Mark.
Endurance America is that a single member LLC?
Yes,
Then you're signing the indemnification agreement as an officer of the LLC?
yes.
The other thing I was thinking, Martha, what do you think because based on this, it's really unclear who's signing this and as what. So maybe if you could print your name and put your position, if they're an officer or whatever, on the indemnification agreement
Okay,
going up there.
very good.
Okay.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I see that Joan Erickson has joined us, and this would be in regards to the ODA on Jewett-Homewood Road. And just to let you know that we have to table that for this meeting tonight because the paperwork has to get sent to the county, and the county requires 2 weeks to approve it. And with the planning board meeting last Wednesday night, the county just received it actually today. So it will be on the next meeting's agenda, which is 2 weeks from tonight. So I didn't want you to sit through the whole thing. And
So that's for the culvert issue?
it's for all of it. It's for the approval of the open development area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
where do you live? Which,
Jewett-Homewood. That's-
okay, all right, you're the, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
I just wanted to let you know.
Okay, great, thank you.
So what's it?
Choose the applicant.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. What's everybody's thoughts on the trail run?
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to go out there and take a hike. I haven't been on, all the way around in the very back there, but I'm assuming the trails are clear and,
It's-
not.
Sounds like a great event. More we can bring out there, it's good for the area.
Okay.
Sounds like he's willing to support.
Work with us. He's done
Yeah.
it. Sounds like he's done it several times, so. I mean, he's got a regular corporation set up. Contingent upon getting a certificate of insurance. Jim, are you thoughts on that?
I think it's a good use. Sounds like a good program. As long as he's got the insurance and everything, and sounds like he's pretty experienced.
Okay.
How are we doing on our trail map?
By liaison from the audience, you'd have to ask there.
Is that a Joe McCann?
Yeah, you want me to approach the mic?
Sure, yeah.
Is that official?
He was nice enough to volunteer. to do that.
No, I didn't volunteer to do that. I did not volunteer to do that.
You can,
Yeah.
Really?
You can take
That
that.
sounds silly. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I approached, I was a Cub Master. It's on, I think, right? I can hear myself. I was a Cub Master for a long time, so I approached Boy Scouts, and they have a couple troops that are interested in doing it. Just a matter of timing. So it sounds like it's on their agenda and should happen.
Great.
you can just set that on the table.
Great.
Perfect.
Next on the agenda is a request from Liz to hire Bill Kramer to sit in for Liz while she's on vacation in June, I think, isn't it? Liz, in June? At a rate of $30 an hour for 3 work days. I spoke to Martha a little bit earlier on this. We're going to need to have an employment contract in place before this can take place. We can either table this for the night and approve it once we have the employment contract, or we could authorize the supervisor to sign the contract tonight. But what are everyone's thoughts on hiring Bill for $30 an hour for 3 work days and so on?
Do we think he has enough experience?
Well, I think.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a great resource whenever you have someone willing, who
To cover.
moves on to greener pastures to help out when necessary. And if we can actually set it up so that it could be, not just for those dates, but as needed as the budget would accommodate, or something like that.
Sure.
Especially during the busy seasons.
Yep.
And
The busy season
that's-
until frankly, go ahead.
And that's it, really, is I'll be out of the office May 28th through June 4th. So Kevin will be on his own 2 of those days. Jen will be there, but he'll be manning the office himself. And then Bill will be there the end of the first week in June. Really as a support for Kevin, but also because we're starting to really ramp up for this season. So Bill was available and willing. And so, I'm grateful that he's able to help us at this time.
I don't have any problem authorizing the supervisor to sign at $30 an hour.
Employment contract.
Yep.
When we get it.
And just, so we don't have to put it on another agenda.
The reason we probably don't have a contract yet, I believe, is because Ron was out with surgery. Is that correct, Martha?
Correct, yes.
So, and it would look to me to be a very simple employment contract. So I have no problem with that at all. Going ahead and authorizing that, Chuck.
Okay. So we got it on, we already got that on the agenda, so, okay. Next on the agenda is the community pool concrete work. The invoice came in over what we authorized by $965. This was due to $500 of that was due to additional time required to tear out concrete. And the other $465 was for a steel chase that was required to access some of the valves to the wading pool, which I will say that the steel chase was required because it was pretty flimsy what was there. It was plywood with a road sign over the top of it, frankly.
Yeah, it's just something we did this we didn't really think about.
Yeah.
It's part of the step. This was the original concrete. It was a lot thicker than originally thought. You don't know. So he took pictures and sent it to us. And it probably is justified. It's still below the second quote anyway, even with these overages. So, Chuck did a great job.
Yeah. I will say this won't happen again. Any additional work will be requiring an additional work authorization from here on. And yes, it was some extra work. Bo's got a ton of concrete experience. But
Chuck, can we about change order request when we do stuff like that? I mean, we did it when we built the town hall. Why couldn't we do that going forward?
that will be in the contract from here on in, Jim.
Yeah, it's a good idea. You know, not just so that we're aware of what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a bad idea.
I think it's good. Just we didn't have that yet.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
You know, I can't hear Dave when he talks into the mic.
I said I think it's a good idea as well. We just didn't have it at the time, so we had to finish.
Understood.
Hey, Jim.
Good. I'm good with it.
And that concludes, does anybody have anything else that they want to discuss or talk about
I do
before we
not.
start the regular meeting?
Just to keep there's a West Falls Advisory Committee meeting on the 12th. So in 2 days, right?
Yeah.
And then the Open Space Committee also is a little bit active again, going to have a meeting to see if the Open Space Committee will exist further. But it does seem like there's a little bit of interest to have a meeting and talk about some of the projects. And that'll be the 21st at, let me see, Friday, the 21st
It's at noon. I can't be there.
noon, yeah. So, and then Jolene, are you going to be there at the West Falls one on Wednesday, you think, or?
I doubt I will.
No, because I have another appointment because I'm not getting any of the communications. So.
It's, they're not even coming for me, so Connor, make sure that Jolene is on the communications.
Okay. So I probably won't, unfortunately.
Anything else, Luke?
Nope.
No? Sue? Joe?
Nope, I'm good.
Chuck, could I say just one thing?
Yes, of course.
As long as we have a little bit of time. Just to mention again that we have been meeting yourself, me and Martha and Kathy Thomas about the ribbon cutting ceremony. And I want to continue to kind of advertise it and let everyone know the date, June 12th, 10 o'clock, it's a Saturday. Kind of pencil that in on your calendars. If possible, we're going to try to arrange tours of the building, and we would need maybe some of the council people to help us, and maybe some of the department heads to lead those tours. We only have so many people at a time, and we'll have a certain path that we can go through, because of COVID. But it'd be kind of nice to showcase our new building, and or also any ideas that anyone else would have. We're gonna have a few guest speakers and a little ceremony out front. So if anyone have any ideas, let Chuck or myself or Martha know, but if you can keep that date available.
Thank you, Jim. And on the heels of that, we also have been trying hard to get our landscaping cleaned up and in place, but we have discovered some knotweed in there. And so I'm just a little bit apprehensive as far as asking Dave and his crew to come in and pull all the weeds out, because, some of it's knotweed and that is Telco. That's the contractor's responsibility to take care of that, as you know.
Yeah.
We still have not, we held back $30,000 on that for that to make sure that it's taken care of.
Is there a way to take care of knotweed? That's a tough one.
Well, when we went through it all, they have a herbicide specialist, I'll call him, who has a contract actually with Telco to come in and take care of it.
Okay.
And we saw the contract, but again, we have held back $30,000 until that gets taken care of, because if it has to be completely dug out and all replanted and so on, because it'll just take over. Knotweed, as Jim can attest, knotweed is very invasive.
And we can't pull it. They have to have it grown to treat it.
Yeah.
I understand. So you can't really go in there and weed it. So if anyone asks you why our landscaping doesn't look so good right now, it's because of that. We got to wait until they can treat it before we can pull the other weeds. They shoot something down into the roots or something. I'm not sure exactly how they do that.
As I understand it, they put a cone right over the weed and shoot whatever they shoot in there to kill the weed down to the roots. Anything else, Jim?
That's all I had, Chuck. Thank you.
Okay. Well, with that, we'll move right into the regular meeting. We said the pledge. We have no public hearings tonight. Can I have the approval of a motion to approve the work session and meeting minutes from the 4/26/21 meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any comments or discussion on them? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next is a chance for the audience to address the board on any items on this agenda. If anyone would like to come forward, please step up to the mic, give us your name, and try to limit your comments to 3 minutes if you can.
Quick.
Okay.
I'm Chuck Skalski. My wife and I, we reside at 1049 Willardshire. So we're, I guess it'd be to the west of the proposed ODA. I did send an email out to you folks, so hopefully you got it and save you having to listen to me about it. We just wanted our voices heard on what they're looking for. And the biggest issue, as I put in there, is that it's a 2-acre plot and not 3. And everything else that I wrote in there. So we're just looking for it to stay as is. I did put in there that, we've already offered several times. I don't know what's going on with it, but we just wanted our side of this all heard. So
Thank you.
Did you
All right.
attend the planning board meeting as well? Or
I
no?
didn't, and I usually check to see when these meetings are, because I do try to see what's going on in the area. And I missed it. And then when Mr. Morrow texted me and said he's going to walk the property with a couple of folks, and I put 2 and 2 together, and then I saw all sorts of flags, and I said, I believe I know what's going on. And he told me this had nothing to do with the sale of the property, with it has everything to do with the sale of the property, in my opinion, but because he wants to sell the, you know, the home and the additional lot. And I have no problem with that. I'm just trying to support what we're trying to do, is maintain our property. And I think almost every one of you were here when we received our ODA and our variance. And, you know, we had purchased the property. And after we purchased the property, we learned that the codes had changed. So we had to go from, I believe at that time, it might have been 100 feet setback to 200 feet. You all granted us a variance and we're at about 156 feet now from there. So everything has worked out. We love it there, but we're just trying to preserve our privacy. And, you know, the trees, as was a big issue for us before. So we're trying to keep all that going. And I think a 2-acre plot that is going to have a turnaround to meet the code, and where a septic is going to go, it'll be devastated, and it'll just open that entire area up. And I know the surrounding neighbors, although they're far up on both sides, north and south, I know that would matter to them as well. So we just wanted our voices heard and our concerns. I don't know how the drainage will go. It drains directly towards us, if there's a house or a septic. So that's all concerns for us. Okay.
Thank you. I
All
did take a drive out and pulled up again and looked at it. But
Yeah, Mr. Morrow moved the flags. He had them about 25 feet on our property, actually, and there's been a pin there since day one with a yellow flag. And I told him, I said, hey, you need to move it, because I checked the foundation survey, and I actually taped it out, and it was dead on the money, 156.7 right to the survey. So
Are you saying the flags that are there were not done by a professional surveyor? They were just done by?
no, you can tell they're.
no, Eric did those himself.
Yeah.
He wrote on them and said 200 feet setback, 75 foot,
Yeah.
so
They weren't.
they were just white
Survey
flags that
markers,
he planted in the ground himself. And when I looked, I was quite alarmed. Didn't even sleep that night. I was pretty upset, because I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I just planted some fruit trees and now they're on someone else's property. And that's not the fact. He actually sent back to me that he was incorrect and he moved flags. So, but the biggest issue is, and as I put in the letter, the board had told us that the reason for it changing it to 3 acres and having all those setbacks was really to keep the country feel and the openness around, instead of a lot of these flag lots that are going in and people are cramming homes in. And that's what we're really trying to prevent. And that's what you all were trying to prevent, and make sure we were on the up and up. And, we try to play by the rules. So that's all. We just wanted to be heard.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Martha, do you know if the planning board is planning an additional meeting, or are they they are? Okay, can we make sure that he's aware of it?
It's a Zoom meeting on Wednesday night.
Okay.
A Zoom call.
This Wednesday?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm out of town, but if I have the info, I'll log into it.
I think it's on the website already. Or I have the email, and then it'll be on the website, so we can get that to you.
Okay,
'Cause you would
I
have
really
an
appreciate it.
opportunity to talk to them, because they'll recommend or not recommend. They were split, so.
Okay. Yeah.
If you want to give me your email, I can forward it to you right now.
Do you want to,
you want to give it publicly, probably.
Too much time. Okay.
That's fine.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Next, under unfinished business. I believe we decided that we would table the wheelchair ODA. Is that correct? Not some interest.
Yep.
So-
Formal vote or just.
Oh, yeah, we want a formal vote, right?
Yeah.
Can I have a motion to table the wheelchair ODA due to until the planning board gets us their input? So can I have that motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any comments or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, can I have a motion to table the Boys Road ODA because the county needs some time to approve the paperwork. Can I have that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Can I have a motion to table the Davis Road, the Jewett Homewood Road ODA again until the county has time to get the paperwork completed?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Any comments or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And next, can I have a motion to set the public hearing for the property at 1158 Davis Road? The public hearing will be held by the town board of the town of Aurora on the 24th day of May, 2021 at 7 p.m. at the Aurora Municipal Center located at 575 Oakwood Avenue, East Aurora, New York, 14052. At which hearing, parties of interested citizens shall have the opportunity to be heard on a site plan, special use permit, and dwelling group proposals from Gary Delanev for a pole barn and a residence at 1158 Davis Road, Post Office Box, West Falls, Town of Aurora, New York. Can I have a motion to set this public hearing at that time?
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Comments or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is a request from Chris from Saban. He's not here tonight. Can I have a motion to amend the rate of per hour pay for the below employees? Daniel Swakehard at $14.50 per hour. Megan Tent at $14.45 an hour. Molly Tent at $14.05 an hour. And Dylan Feed at $12.85 per hour. Did I have that motion?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Comments or discussion? Chris is not here. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, can I have the a motion to approve the payment of the invoice for the pool concrete work at let's see, do I have to just ask for the additional amount of $965? Yes, okay. Can I have a motion to approve the payment for the additional concrete work at the community pool of $965, which went over the contract as you just agreed in the work section?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Comments or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Under new business, we have a request from Endurance America, LLC, to have a trail run. Can I have a motion to approve Endurance America to have a trail run on the dates of 6/7, 6/14, 6/21, and 6/28, which are all Monday nights at Nicely Park?
I'll make that motion contingent on the certificate of insurance and the
Thank you, Sue.
re-signing of the indemnification certificate as the LLC.
Do we need a new application with the dates or no?
No, we can change it.
Yeah, okay.
Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any comments or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is a request from Highway Superintendent Dave Gunner. Could I have a motion to approve promoting Daniel Harris to motor equipment operator? His new rate of pay will be $30.06 an hour, and his promotion will start on May 29th, 2021. Can I have that motion?
So move.
Motion by Luke, second.
I'll second.
Second by Joe. Comments or discussion? Dave, you want to add anything?
No, Dan's done a good job. He just finished his training. He was up in the bucket truck, 60 feet in the air to prove he could run anything. So he's earned it. So congratulations to him.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next is a request from Dave also. Could I have a motion to approve hiring Jonah Dajnik, residing at 993 Olean Road, East Aurora, New York? He will be working as a seasonal parks laborer at an hourly rate of $13.50, and his start date is June 28th, 2021. Can I have that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Second by Luke. Any comments or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next is also a request from Dave. Could I have a motion to approve the hiring of Paul Spahn, residing at 761 Quaker Road, East Aurora, New York? He'll be working as a full-time laborer at the hourly rate of $18.48 per hour. And his start date will be May 17th, 2021. Can I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Jim, motion by Jim. Second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Any comments or discussion? Dave?
Just to say that Trey, that's what he goes by. He worked for us for 2 years as summer help, finished his college, and decided highway is a better road. So he's out getting his permit right now, and we're hoping to go right forward with getting him in a plow truck by winter. So this is just the start, but he has been working for us before, not last summer, but the 2 summers before. He did a great job.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have a budget amendment from Kathleen. Can I have a motion to amend the budget to properly record the $53,570 received from the auction of the 2008 Case 721E wheel loader? The funds will be applied to the purchase of the 2020 Caterpillar 938M wheel loader approved on the 2/22/21 town board meeting. The amendment is as follows. Increase revenue line DB 2665, sale of scrap and property, by $53,570, and increase expenditure line DB 5130.217, equipment purchases, by $53,570. Could I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any comments or discussion? You want to add anything to that, Dave, or we're?
No, it's just that's the breakdown for the grant. Part of it was for the grapple truck and the tractor backhoe, which went to highway. And then the smaller portion is for the leaf vacuum or sucker. And the totes. So that's why it's broken out the way it is. So, but either way, it's good money we could use. So we had to clean up the lines so that we could pay for the cat wheel loader we bought. And Liz got communication from the state to do today. We did, we mailed the voucher and they did confirm within the next couple of weeks that check should be deposited in our bank account. So, okay.
Thank you, Dave. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next is a budget amendment, also a budget amendment from Kathleen. Could I have a motion to amend the budget to properly record the $136,000, $714.37 awarded by the New York State DEC from the Municipal Waste Reduction and Recycling Program? The amendments are as follows. Add an increased revenue line DB 3089 state aid other by $114,322. Increase expenditure line DB 5130.217, equipment purchased by $114,322. Add an increased revenue line SR 3089 state aid other by $22,382.37. Increase expenditure line SR 8189.401 recycling services by $22,382.37.
This is what Dave was just talking about.
Yep, the recycling and so on. Yep. Can I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any comments or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda was the temporary hiring of Bill Kramer. Could I have a motion to approve the hiring of retired CEO Bill Kramer to assist the billing department while Liz Cassidy is on vacation? This would be for 3 work days at an hourly rate of $30 per hour. Funds will be paid out of A3620.404 expense and travel, which currently has a balance of $1,445. Could I have that motion?
I'll make the motion to authorize an employment contract with Bill Kramer to do as listed.
Do we want to expand that to allow for potential
Future?
future use as well? I mean, so
Yes.
we can sign the contract and then each time maybe has to be approved somehow, but that way we don't have to go through the
Yeah.
contract each time.
Did you catch that, Jim?
I did. I'm not sure if that can legally be done, I guess.
Do we
Yeah.
just leave that open-ended?
I think we
You know
Why
what?
not?
Can we just authorize the supervisor to sign an employment contract at the stated rate as needed and approved by the board?
As long as nothing changes, as long as nothing changes in that contract, I don't see why we couldn't do it. The only thing that's going to change is the times. But I don't know. That would be a Ryan question as far as I'm concerned. I don't
Well,
know.
in the contract, you could go through what procedure is required to approve the days or.
Or you could do a limit, not to exceed 14 days a year, whatever you think.
Not to exceed 14 days?
Yeah.
So do we need to amend the motion to approve the employment contract not to exceed 14 days?
Yeah.
Martha's on the phone with Ron now, Jim.
Oh, okay.
He's correct. It's not an employment contract. It would be an independent, you know, let's, okay.
You
When
wanna
is our
table
next
this?
meeting?
Well, yeah, why
I
don't
think,
we-
let's get
let's get
it,
this
let's have him
done.
draft it and it's not gonna be a problem, but I'd rather get it done and get it done right the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'll motion to table that to the 24th and we'll look at the contract and award
okay,
it then.
and I'll second. All in favor?
Aye. Yeah, Ron's right. It wouldn't be an employment agreement. It would be, you know, some sort of a contract for service. Because it wouldn't be an employee.
1099.
Better having it in our hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good communications and reports. I have the April 2021 Town Clerk Tax Report, the Water Clerk Report, Town Clerk's Report, Work Requisitions, Dog Control, Building Department, and the Supervisor's Report. Next is business from the board. Members? Councilwoman Jeffy.
I don't have anything other than in my travels, looking at the ODA properties and everything. I hadn't been out Boyce in probably 2 months, maybe. I mean, it hasn't been that long, but wow. Lots
Lot of building
going
going
on.
on.
Yes. Other than that, nothing.
Supervisor Bach?
Well, first of all, I want to wish all the mothers I hope they had a good Mother's Day out there. And the other thing I have is that Martha, myself, and Kathleen met with Patrick Martino from Waste Management, and on a couple items. The first, our contract with them will be coming up for an extension, but he had some good news. If you remember, those who were on the board when we signed the last contract, it was tied to recycling costs, and at the time, the recycling was going down, and they weren't making any money. Well, it's starting to turn around because of the demand for cardboard, with all the shipping that's going on, and so if it continues going the way it is, which he believes it will in this year, we're tending to save about $32,000 in that contract. The other thing is they have a program where they are trying to launch it in this area. They haven't yet, and that's picking up the hazardous waste materials right at the doorstep of our residents. And so we're talking with them. It looks like a pretty neat setup. We're trying to see what their costs are going to be and how it all works. And so I don't want to go into too much detail until he comes back with some information with us. But it looks like a pretty good program. That's it.
Thank you, Jim. Councilwoman Freeze?
I have nothing tonight. Thank you.
Councilman Lou?
The only thing I forgot, I don't think we spoke about this, but to thank Dave for coming out. The DOT came out to West Falls. We had a walk. We didn't speak about this. That was after last meeting. So yeah, thank you to Senator Gallivan's office for helping facilitate that as well. But there are about 4 or 5 projects that they were going to put on the agenda for this summer, which is great, cleaning culvert pipes and things like that. But we really got a view of, I don't know, we're walking through and some projects and things. So they asked us at our next West Falls meeting to come up with a wish list of what we want. So, you know, sidewalk, where it goes from where, so that we can give that to them. And then we'll continue working with them to try to put it on a list of what we may have to apply for, but what also they can just do on their own without Albany as well. So it was a good first visit. I was really impressed with how it went. So Dave was showing them all the problems and the issues. It worked out that there was a house there that was pumping water out at the time. So
Yeah, they were real shocked. I showed them where literally there's a storm drain goes under the West Falls Library from before it was built that obviously doesn't work very well. So, when they started looking at all these drainage issues, there's a good chance that if we keep pushing this, one thing Luke didn't mention after the proposals put together, what the West Falls committee would like, curbs, sidewalks, et cetera. The DOT's looking for the town board to actually do some type of action supporting that, as well as Senator Galvin's office. So I assume, Luke, you're putting that together, but it'll have to be something that we would want to try to push along. It looks promising, honestly, if we can just keep pushing on it. The area definitely needs a total rehab. They originally were talking just a mill and fill over there, but after they started looking at the real problems, there's a pipe under the road right in front of the fire hall that's undersized. I think, Jolene, you remember when the fire hall flooded back in like 2013. There's a lot of problems that when you get the real heavy rains, that whole neighborhood gets flooded, and there's no way a mill and fill is going to fix that. They really need to go through and update it from the 1920s.
When is the mill and fill scheduled?
Well, right now they
Couple years
were
out.
planning on moving forward that possibly next year, but now that they're
2020.
starting to see that maybe they should revisit this and get design in. What they call design mill and fill is just general construction, but they definitely need engineering, and it's a more entailed project. So we're hoping to push them along with new sidewalks and some reconfiguring of the road, to make it more business friendly, I guess. So it's a project. It might be a wish list. At the least, we're making them aware because it's something the residents have been dealing with for a very long time. So
Good.
That was good. And then the other thing, this West Falls sign, the designs that I've seen are really quite impressive. So we'll probably have a conversation about that on Wednesday, and then see how we can move forward with that. But that's looking very nice for a Welcome to West Falls site. We'll see what's possible, but they're pretty nice. I also met with Deb Fenn from Rails to Trails. We spoke with Jack Boquin a couple of meetings ago, and I think Deb is sort of on the same page with Jack. They're working together. There is that insurance issue, but hopefully it looks positive that we'll get that taken care of. And I suggested that that I would be willing to help reach out to residents on the line with property that is adjacent to the trail to see if there are any other issues, so we could flesh them out now and try to get them dealt with. And she was going to go back to the board and see, if we can get a list of who they are. So I think everything's moving pretty well with that project as well. She also said that Adam is emailing all the time with wanting updates for the paper. So that's good. And I think that's it.
That's it. And as for me, I just also wanted to wish all the moms a happy Mother's Day yesterday. And just a little tidbit of information, there are more phone calls in the United States on Mother's Day than any other day of the year.
Is that really?
122 million.
Wow. Wow.
Next, we have audience 2, which is an opportunity for anyone to address the board on any town concerns or topics.
I would just say,
Tony?
if anyone online would like to speak as well, use the raise hand function now or text in the chat.
Hi, Tony Rosati, 350 Oakwood. A couple comments and questions or statements, I should say. First one is that early voting is scheduled to start in June for the primary. So one thing that we have noticed is we could probably use a few more garbage cans on the second floor here because that's going to start in the middle of June. There doesn't seem to be any in this part of the building either, but if we're going to have a traffic of people wandering around, it would be helpful to have something around. The second item is I just wanted to, again, kind of remind people that the village is planning on working on Tannery Brook Culvert behind the Bar Bill and Five Star Bank and whatnot, starting in June. the bulk of that parking lot is going to be closed down for about 100 days. So most of June, July, August, and half of September, we're expecting it to be pretty much blocked out for construction. There will be a public meeting next Monday at the firehouse. The village board standard meeting is going to start at 5:30. The specific Tannery Brook reconstruction discussion is going to start at 7:30. No, 7 o'clock. The information's on the website. We've awarded the contract, but we haven't published all the details of the schedule yet. So I just wanted to keep people aware, again, behind the Bar Bill, Five Star Bank, most of the west end of that parking lot is going to be completely blocked off. So there'll be a lot of people creatively looking for parking. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Anyone else? Luke, anyone?
I don't see anyone. Nope. Nope. Good.
Okay. Staff reports. Chief? Nothing tonight. Liz?
Nothing tonight.
Joe? Chris isn't here. Don is not here. Dave?
Yeah, Boys Road, we should finish this week. Came out really good. I haven't seen you since that board meeting. And also Councilman Schneider and me are meeting in West Falls tomorrow with the leaders of the adult leagues. And they're bringing a expert from Salen's Field there that I would like to advise us on redoing the diamonds there. So
We'll see how that goes.
we'll see how that goes. That's all though.
Thank you, Dave. Tony, anything else to add? Miss anybody?
Nope.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the abstract?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion opposed? Motion approved, motion carried. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Jim seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all for coming.
Good job, Chuck.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon.